There is always a scope at the top and situation is always vacant at the top. Lower level there is a rush, there is a crowd, but situation always remains at the top.
What do you think is the wrong thing that students of law do?
Students do not give their time for research, and that is the reason why they jump into the profession of law.
You teach us on a moral level, on an ethical level, and on a legal academic level.
50% job of a teacher is not to teach. 50% job of a teacher is to motivate. Teaching is a great responsibility.
What is the recipe to become a legal legend in our profession?
Sheer hard work, consistency and confidence. Yes, I can do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. Today at Just1.tv in the program Legal Legends with Imran Wajid, we are here with one of my mentors, a person who is not only my father figure, but who has been one of the most prominent mentors, a teacher, a consultant, and a guide throughout my life and as a student of law. He not only helped me by personally checking and taking out times for guiding me in my assignments, my quizzes, my presentations, and as a guide and a consultant for all my problems that I was facing as a student and during my life as a profession. So ladies and gentlemen, we will introduce you, Sir Nafeer Malik.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, it's an honor and a privilege that today you took time out for us to come and visit you. We will be asking you certain questions about the profession of law and how you have been a student of law and what that you have done, and which is different from everyone else, that made you come to this position that you are blissfully enjoying today.
I must appreciate yourself, Just1 TV, and Almas, my colleague, my friend. You people thought out of box and started a new thing in Pakistan. Definitely, I will be sharing my experiences of life.
The first question I would like to ask you is that how actually do you find a personal sense of purpose for what you are doing right now? And what is the story behind it as a student of law when you started the legal profession, and when you, alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah, you became the advocate of the Supreme Court? What were the struggles that you were facing that enabled you to enjoy this position that you're blissfully holding today?
Imran, after doing my graduation from FC College, I'm a former knight.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah.
At that time, I was a career student. Let me share, I was never a shining student so far as academics are concerned. Yes, co-curricular activities and extracurricular activities in FC College, 4 years, I was outstanding. People say I was outstanding. But studies, I never liked studies. But after graduation, there was a shock, sudden shock. I was not mentally prepared for that shock, and that shock was the death of my daddy. And that shock, in fact, helped me a lot to run fast. I did my LLB in 1981 from University Law College. I was an evening student for the very simple reason that in morning I have to do odd jobs. I was the eldest in my family, so I have to look after my widow mother, look after my younger brothers and sisters. In evening, I did my LLB. And under the supervision, guidance and help of my seniors, my teachers like Dr. Khalid Raja, like Barrister Malik Muhammad Shafi, like many, many more. I did my law degree in 1982, rather 1981 to be more specific. In 1982, I got the license to practice in the subordinate courts. Well, it was very hard. Early days of practice, like every youngster, you have experienced yourself. The profession is very tough, demanding.
Indeed, indeed.
But Once my teacher said, Dr. Khalid Randa Sahab, that there is always a scope at the top, and situation is always vacant at the top. Lower level, there is a rush, there is a crowd, but situation always remains at the top. That one sentence, that is that remained throughout my professional career in my mind. In 1985, I got the license to practice
In the High Court.
in the High Court. And before that, you can say it is just chance, you can say it's destiny, that some very, very important cases of this country on criminal side, I pleaded those cases in different courts, including the Special Military Court, and one case was the Chaudhry Zahurullah murder trial, which was before a military court. After that case, a number of criminal cases from the jails, the people approached me. After 1985, then I was practicing. My passion was and is still the criminal law. Then private law colleges, they started. Teaching is my passion.
Indeed.
So in 1988, I started my law teaching along with my practice. And for 7 years, I taught in Punjab Law College. Two subjects, English jurisprudence and the law of evidence. Thereafter, in 1994, I took the charge of Qaid-e-Azam Law College. And then there was a dream in my mind that let's experience. And there should be some law school in which the entire faculty, starting from the principal to the junior most faculty member, he should be either practicing lawyer or some former judge of High Court or Supreme Court.
Definitely.
So that instead of mere giving bookish knowledge, one should blend the practical aspects.
Of law and practice.
And that was the motto of Qaid-e-Azam Law College. That is the motto of Qaid-e-Azam Law College, and that is a legal education with a difference.
Yes.
In 1996, I got the license to practice in the Supreme Court. And then I had the opportunity to write down some books, like 18 books, commentary on the Code of Criminal Procedure, the Law of Evidence, Pakistan Penal Code, the Constitution of Pakistan. And now I am running a busy law firm as well,
MashaAllah.
and
MashaAllah.
looking after my duties here. So now I am, as I've already said, teaching is my passion. So I had the opportunity to teach in Police Training College, Sehala, Punjab Judicial Academy, MPDD, University Law College, Lahore, which is my alma mater, and different other institutions.
Oh, this is good.
So this is how the story begins, and story is continuing. Let's see.
Inshallah, inshallah. And I hope in the future it becomes better
Let's
as well,
hope. Let's
inshallah. So I wanted to ask you a question on a professional standpoint. Since you have been a teacher, mashallah, for so long, what do you think is the wrong thing that students of law do in their academic life, when they are studying law, and in the early years of their profession?
Thank you very much.
And how can they overcome that one particular or a couple of particular wrong things they are doing for their success?
In student life, which I have witnessed myself, students do not give their time for research.
Yes.
And there are more than one reasons. Our examination system, well, I am not a person who complains. I never complain. But in annual system, it's not a IQ test, it's a handwriting test, and it's a memory test.
Yes.
And there are guides and key books available in the market.
Yes.
And our motivational speeches and everything that sometimes doesn't work. And students, they at the end of the session, they just buy some key book or guide, you can say.
Yes.
So the lack of research, that is the thing which I think lacks in the present students of law. And that is the reason why they jump into the profession of law.
They face hardships.
This,
Definitely.
I will add it. You were also here.
Yes.
So we emphasize that go and make the assignment, and assignment should be not more less than 30 pages.
Yes,
It should be
I
50
remember.
pages. It is must be supported with the Indian case law, Pakistani case law, English case law. Why it is so?
Yes.
It was just to prepare them so that they
enable
should be
us.
successful in the professional life in whatever capacity they want, either a judge or a lawyer or in any other capacity.
And I remember they helped a lot.
Okay,
They helped a
thank
lot,
you. It's
especially in
very-
English jurisprudence, because that's the mother law for all other laws. so
Let me
that-
share, that was the only subject, English jurisprudence. And my teacher, may God bless him, Justice Falak Sahab, ultimately he became the Chief Justice. That was the only subject during my tenure while I was a student in University Law College, the most tough subject in my curriculum. And sometimes I used to feel that perhaps I will never qualify this particular subject, the English jurisprudence. But ultimately, when the colleges, private law colleges and the public sector universities, they offered me to teach this particular subject. That was another challenge.
Oh, good.
So I, with smiling face, accepted that challenge, and I see, let's see. So that is another, you can say, the beautiful thing in my life is, along with many, many other beautiful things, that subject which was most difficult for me. Now I am teaching that subject since decades.
And mashallah, you're doing an amazing job in that subject.
Well, I will try.
I remember our batch used to come particularly for English jurisprudence, and then we used to go for other classes, and that used to be a motivation. Because what I sensed in you is that you teach not in a way a book is supposed to be taught. You teach us on a moral level, on an ethical level, and on a legal academic level. And this is what I've seen is lacking among teachers nowadays a lot. I have found in my whole life, up till now, only one teacher who has done that. And alhamdulillah, that is, and I'm happy I've been a student.
Yes, I mean it.
Yes.
To me, 50% job of a teacher is not to teach.
Yes,
50% job of a teacher is to motivate.
exactly.
To motivate the student. And once, now it's not there, there was a board here that if a teacher says, my students are weak, I believe teacher is weak.
Yes.
So if you can motivate the students, then they deliver and you can get the results. Otherwise, going and mere dictating the notes and mere sharing the statute wording, that is perhaps not the entire duty of a teacher. And to me, teach is to touch lives forever. It is not mere delivering of some lectures. It is touching the life of other forever.
To be
That is the
remembered,
teaching.
to be remembered.
To be
forever.
remembered forever.
Inshallah, inshallah. Sir, what would you recommend as a professional lawyer and a teacher as well? The same thing I have seen when I'm teaching. Teachers nowadays, they come and they teach and they go. But since I have been taught by you, I do my best to share my experiences as well and to bring a professional side to the field of law. And I have seen teachers, students appreciate that as well. What do you think, in your humble opinion, is the reason that teachers have parted ways from moral and ethical education and just are strictly towards academic perspective of teaching?
You are very right. Teaching is a great responsibility.
Indeed.
It is not mere having a knowledge and not mere delivering the lectures. First of all, you have to command on that particular topic you are going to deliver a lecture.
Yes.
Then you have to motivate. Then there are other things, other skills which you help a student. And to me, in a modern teaching methodology, a teacher should not be giving a spoon feeding. And the role of a teacher is like a facilitator.
Exactly.
He should just tell the student, facilitate them that, look, this thing you may find in that book, this thing you may find in that particular case law, this thing you can Google it, this thing you can find it in that library perhaps.
Yes.
And then with the consistency, you make a target, and then you sure that you hit the bullseye.
Yes.
And then that student becomes, after 3 years, a lawyer or a judge.
I still remember you used to encourage us to bring laptops in class.
Yes, did
So
I?
we used to live search on case laws and on Google what actually everything meant.
Oh, yes.
That was a motivation.
Because I believe the friendship, old friendship is good, and technology is new one is good.
Yes, definitely.
There's a new technologies.
With things, new things come up and we have to get used to them because that's the new way of life. We cannot let them just be a separate life altogether. We have to accept them.
Sure, fully agree.
Sir, I have another question. What will you recommend? So the program the next question is pertaining to the problems new lawyers are facing as far as their early phases, because what I've seen is that students of law who later become lawyers, who actually want to practice, they face a lot of financial constraints in the early phases. The reason being their name is not well known, their face is not that well known, and they are unable to make a mark in such a saturated market quite quickly. And it's what I feel is not that possible. Some things do take time if you want to do it in a better manner. What will you recommend that a person, a student of law who is now a lawyer, can overcome those financial problems that he's facing? What is that he needs to do? And how did you overcome them? And what can your students do to overcome the same?
Again, another good shot by you, another good question, Imran. To me, first of all, it is my advice, humble opinion to the youngsters who are joining the profession of law, the black coat profession, the greatest profession on the earth. First of all, they should sit down and convince themselves that since they have been paying for 16 or 17 years to the different institutions, schools and colleges, so they should not expect immediately earning after wearing the black coat. And at least they should convince that for another 2 years, 2 years is very calculated time, they should focus on learning and join some good professional law firm. And they should consider and convince. I know it's a difficult task, but it is doable, it is smart goal, it is achievable goal, that you convince yourself that, look, I have not earned anything in 17 years. I am ready without earning, learning for another 2 years. And then thereafter, you are able to fly and take off independently, and then sky is the limit. And then the money and the car and the status, and that is just no problem.
That follows.
So it's a 2 and 2, 4 formula. Convince yourself, for 2 years I am not going to expect anything from my law firm. I am not going anything to learn, to earn. Only learning is my first priority. And after that, and all the stories of success, all the leading lawyers, all the judges of High Court and Supreme Court, they have traveled their life, succeeded after going to this route, and this is the only route.
Hard work and determination. I remember this was your second most important thing you said. Consistency, determination, and hard work. Nobody can achieve anything without that. What was a motivational factor other than being someone in the field of law? What actually motivated you to keep on going in this profession? Because there are ups and downs. I'm facing ups and downs. Sometimes I try my level best to stick in through the downs. It's just like a lifeline. Sometimes there are troughs, sometimes there are depressions.
I'm not in the mood to be sentimental, but anyway, I will definitely reply to this question. I feel no shame in saying that I belong to a very, very humble background. Right? No issue. No issue. The thing which motivated me and still motivating me, until the last breath will be motivating for me, that the complexes which I saw in my early age, in my school age, in my college age, being the son of belonging to a humble, poor family background, that thing motivated me to run fast and to try to register my name amongst the legal fraternity. It may be through conducting a case and arguing a case in a different first-class manner. It may be by writing a book which must be available in the library of every lawyer and every judge.
Yes.
Or delivering a lecture, maybe in University Law College, maybe Sehala, maybe Judicial Academy, that after 50 minutes when you go out, you feel a satisfaction that yes, I contributed something.
Yes.
I think that thing.
The basic purpose is to impart something so that people actually learn something from the lecture.
You should contribute.
Yes.
There is a strict duty.
Yes,
There is a strict duty. You should contribute.
definitely. And not to just hold back.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
there is in every other opportunity if one
It
closes
is your
down.
duty. It is your duty. It is the right of the youngsters.
Sir, you, mashallah, being the Chief Operating Officer of Quaid-e-Azam Law College for a very long time, mashallah, and with the immense teaching experience you have and professional experience you have, what would you like to advise to our nation, especially the ministers of education? How can they pick our academia, especially in the field of law, and take it up to the level as it is taught in abroad? So what are we lacking, and how can we overcome
I am
that?
very clear, Imran. I am very clear. Let's keep legal education aside for a while. Until and unless the curriculum and the syllabus of our schools is the same,
Yes,
there should be one syllabus.
true.
And the syllabus or the books which my son studies at Atchison or Beacon House or Grammar or any other school, the son of my driver should have the same opportunity.
True.
You never know what talent is hidden in that boy. So equal opportunities should be given. How? No general discussion. Let's be specific. The curriculum and the syllabus should be the same.
Should be same.
And then there will be a definite change in
In
the
the
higher
same-
education. That higher education may be legal or medical or engineering or architecture or any other field. But initially, foundation should be strong. How? By keeping one syllabus.
That is true. That's a beautiful advice.
That's my analysis.
So, sir, the $1 million question. In your opinion,
Your every question was $1 million question, by the way.
thank you. It's very kind of you. In your humble opinion, as per your experiences, what is the recipe to become a legal legend in our profession?
Sheer hard work, no doubt. Consistency and confidence. Yes, I can do it. Again,
Yes.
sheer hard work, consistency, and the confidence. Yes, I can do it.
Oh, first two lectures I remember. The very first two lectures, alhamdulillah. Sir, any advice that would you like to give to the lawyers, our judges, to your students, mashallah, your past students,
The
your future
same
students?
advice which my teacher gave me. There is always scope at the top. Situation is always vacant at the top.
True, true. One can always achieve it. It takes time, but one can always
Yes,
achieve it.
Sure. There is no shortcut.
Sir, it's very kind of you for
Very, very
allowing
kind,
us
Imran.
the time to actually come to you and interview you. It would have been unjust for me if I would have
Look
not started it
how
with you.
beautiful this profession is. How beautiful this.
Sir, it's been a humble pleasure, and it's been an honor for me to actually get the opportunity to interview one of my mentors who has been my father figure and who has been my guide throughout, not only through my academic problems, but as well as my personal problems as a student of law and as Imran in his normal life.
Stay blessed, Imran.
Inshallah.
Stay blessed.
So thank you, viewers. It was a pleasure interviewing my mentor, Sir Nafeer Malik Sahab, an advocate of the Supreme Court and the Chief Operating Officer of Quaid-e-Azam Law College. Inshallah, stay tuned and we will come again.